Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. You guys have seen a couple videos in the new year, but I haven't filmed in the new year because the previous videos were pre-filmed, so it only feels right that I wish you guys a very happy new year. I hope you all are doing well. If you are new to the channel, my name is Sophia and I make bookish content, mainly literary fiction and mysteries, and a little bit of other things too. And today I am back with a video that I hope will become a bit of a tradition on this channel, and that is looking forward to new releases that are upcoming in 2025. So this is a New Year's resolution that came a little late for my reading goals of 2025 video. If you missed that, I'll link it in the card so you can check out all the other things that I'm trying to do on my channel this coming year. But I would like to read some more new releases, or if not reading all of them, getting excited about them. I remember one of the things that I was most anticipating when I first became a booktuber was the new releases excitement, having something that you're looking forward to, that you've pre-ordered, having that box on the front doorstep, which is that new release that you're so excited about. And I feel like over the years, I have a massive backlist of books that I've been trying to get to. And so new releases have fallen a little bit to the wayside. And so this year, I'm hoping to make quarterly videos where I talk about the upcoming new releases for the next 3 months. So today is episode number 1 of this quartet, meaning that I will be talking about releases coming out January through March of 2025. I'm not going to get too crazy in this video because I don't want to talk about a million books and realistically not be excited about all of the ones that I talk about. So I just have a few for you today that have really piqued my interest for certain different reasons. And hopefully maybe they will pique yours as well. So the first one is actually already out. It is called How to Sleep at Night, and it is by Elizabeth Harris. So this is about a couple, Ethan and Gabe. I believe they live in New York City. And when they met, they were both pretty liberal and resonated more with the Democratic Party. However, as they have been together for many years, Ethan has kind of slowly drifted more to the right. And the beginning of the book starts out with them eating dinner one night and Ethan proclaiming to Gabe that he in fact wants to run for Congress as a Republican. Obviously, Gabe has very different political ideologies and doesn't quite resonate with those of Ethan. And so starts a tumultuous time for their relationship. The reason why I was so intrigued by this is, of course, in the United States, recently we have been through a lot of political changes, and this country is probably more polarized than it has ever been in my lifetime. And I feel that I really want to read a book that discusses that kind of dichotomy, that separation that is going on in this country right now. And from what I've read of the reviews of this book, it does a really great job discussing how we live together as a society and have such different views about how the country should be run and how that can be navigated even within a intimate relationship. And so I think that this one's going to be a really interesting read, and so far it's been getting a lot of buzz and a lot of love. The next most anticipated release is called Good Girl, and it's by Aria Aber. It comes out January 14th, 2025, so very soon. And the reason why I added this one to the TBR list is because it was blurbed by Aber, who was the author of Martyr, one of the books that I really enjoyed last year, although I did have a few issues with it, so it didn't quite make it into my favorite books of the year list. But he was ranting and raving about how much he loved this debut novel, and I figured that I wanted to give it a go. So I'm actually going to read the beginning of the synopsis of this one because it is a little bit complex, but it says, in Berlin's artistic underground, where techno and drugs fill warehouses still pockmarked from the wars of the 20th century, 19-year-old Nyla at last finds her tribe. Born in Germany to Afghan parents, raised in public housing, graffitied with swastikas, drawn to philosophy, photography, and sex, Nyla has spent her adolescence disappointing her family while searching for her voice as a young woman and artist. I've really been enjoying coming of age stories, and I think that this one sounds really interesting given kind of the historical nods in the blurb. I think it's going to be a really interesting read. So if you're interested in what Kaveh Akbar said about this book, he said a no bullshit must read debut. The next one that I'm excited to read this year is called A Gorgeous Excitement by Cynthia Weiner, and it comes out on January 21st, 2025. I need to stop saying 2025 as all of these are 2025 releases. So from the synopsis, it seems like it's about a young girl named Nina, not Neela, who is living in New York City in the 80s, and she, I believe, lives with her mother, who she has a little bit of a tumultuous relationship with. I think her mother is suffering from depression, and so they have a lot of disagreements. So Nina kind of wants to get out of the house, go a little crazy, and find herself. Flanagan's, which I'm assuming is a bar, is where she pines for the handsome, preppy, and charismatic Gardner Reed. Every girl wants to sleep with him, and every guy wants to be him. After she's introduced to cocaine, Nina plunges headlong into her pursuit of Gardner, oblivious to the warning signs. When a new medication seemingly frees her mother from darkness and Nina and Gardner grow closer, it seems like Nina might finally get what she wants, but at what cost? And there were a few things in the blurb that made me think that this might take a little bit of a mystery crime tilt. But I do love reading coming of age stories, especially at the beginning of the year. I don't know what it is about me enjoying those books right as the new year is ringing in. But this one sounded a little bit similar to Good Girl and also piqued my interests. I realized I went a little bit out of publication order. The next one is called Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney and comes out on January 14th, 2025. But I actually got an early copy because it was a Book of the Month early release book. And I am happy to say it is the only one on this list that I've actually already read. And I have so many thoughts about it that I cannot possibly condense them into this video. I think that book needs its own separate review, which will be coming shortly. But this book is about a man named Grady Green and his wife, Abby. And at the beginning of this book, he is sitting on his couch waiting to hear the news that Grady has become a New York Times bestseller, his lifelong ambition. And Abby is coming home. She's running a little bit late and she picked up dinner on the way home. She's driving home and on the phone, she basically gets into some sort of accident situation and the phone call goes dead. And it kind of goes on from there. It takes a lot of twists and turns. I definitely will be talking more about this one in the future, but it is the latest installment in Alice Feeney's compulsively readable thrillers, and this one certainly did not disappoint on that front, although there's lots more to discuss other than just it being compulsively readable about that one. So look out for the review, and if you're looking for a mystery thriller to read at the beginning of this year, Beautiful Ugly might be a good place to start. Next up is a book called Everything is Tuberculosis, The History and Persistence of Our Deadliest Infection. It comes out March 18th, and it is by John Green. John Green, of course, is known for a lot of his YA books that are very popular, but recently, he's delved a little bit more into the nonfiction world, and me being a physician, am really interested when authors write books about disease or people write memoirs about suffering from a disease, and so this one really piqued my interest. And it says, the book interweaves the story of Henry Reeder, a young tuberculosis patient Green befriends in Sierra Leone, with the social and scientific history of the disease, and then it kind of goes on. So I think it's going to weave in some personal stories that he's experienced, and then also more of the scientific narrative, also about tuberculosis, which is a incredibly prevalent disease, even if it's not as prevalent in the US where I mainly practice. In other countries, it is certainly very prevalent, and I certainly have seen it as well in my practice. So I'm very interested in kind of seeing what that book has in store. And the last book that I'm looking forward to in this first 3 months of the year is Universality by Natasha Brown. This one is set to publish March 4th, 2025. And it says, late one night on a Yorkshire farm in the midst of an illegal rave, a young man is nearly bludgeoned to death with a solid gold bar. An ambitious young journalist sets out to uncover the truth. And then it kind of goes on. I know that her previous book, I'm forgetting the title right now, was really loved, nominated for a lot of prizes. And this, having a little bit of a literary fiction and mystery twist to it, seemed like it would be right up my alley. So I'm looking forward to picking up that one also when it comes out. So those are all of the books that I currently have on my radar for January through March. Although I will say the Modern Mrs. Darcy Book Club or What Should I Read Next podcast comes out with their spring book preview soon in January. And I always have a lot of good recommendations from those little previews. So I'm sure I might add a couple more to this list as I look into that. Maybe I will kind of pop those into another video so you can see which ones most intrigued me. But for now, this is what I'm looking forward to. I would also love to know what books are on your radar for the beginning of the year. Have you pre-ordered anything? Are you really excited for any particular books to come out? Let me know in the comments down below. And with that, I will see you guys very soon with another video. Bye.